If you're an educator, you know those days, the ones where you're standing in front of your class or sitting at your desk late at night and you just wonder, am I really making a difference? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive right into that feeling. And more importantly, we're going to show you how to see the incredible impact you're having even when it's not so obvious.
This thought, wow, it's a heavy one, isn't it? It has a way of creeping in after a really long day or a tough class or maybe a meeting that just went sideways. And you know what? It's a feeling that is way more common than any of us are willing to admit.
And it's fueled by so many things, right? You're pouring all your energy out, but what you see are just these blank faces staring back at you. Then the test results come in, and they're just not what you'd hoped for. And on top of that, you get questions from management, maybe even a complaint from a parent. It all just piles up until you're left with that quiet, nagging question, where did I go wrong?
Okay, so how do we fight back against that feeling? It starts with a total reframe of what impact even looks like. And honestly, the best way I've heard it put is with this simple analogy. Teaching is like farming. It's not like frying plantain.
Just think about the difference for a second. When you fry plantain, the results are immediate. You see it, you smell it, you get that instant satisfaction. It's quick. But teaching is farming. You plant a seed, you water it, you nurture it, and for the longest time, it looks like nothing is happening. But underneath the surface, where you can't see it, roots are taking hold and life is beginning.
And listen, if you've ever felt this way, you are so far from alone. Just look at this number from a World Bank study. 7 out of 10 teachers feel undervalued precisely because they don't see those instant plantain frying results. So this isn't some personal failing on your part. It's built into the very nature of the job. Your impact is delayed, but it is never, ever denied.
So if the proof isn't right there in front of us, how do we find it? Well, we have to learn where to look. It's time to start collecting what I like to call your impact receipts, the actual, tangible proof that the growth you're fostering is real. And here is one of the most powerful, practical tools you can ever use, the before and after folder. Seriously, it can be a real folder or just a file on your computer. The purpose is super simple, to make all that invisible growth totally visible.
And the process couldn't be easier. First, you just save some work samples from the very beginning of the term. You know, the ones that might be full of mistakes. Then you collect their more recent work. And on those days when that self-doubt starts to creep in, you open that folder and you compare. It is a direct visual reminder that progress is absolutely happening, even if it feels agonizingly slow.
But that's not the only way to find your receipts. You've got other wins to see. Go back and read those old thank you notes you've saved from former students. Make a real effort to stop comparing your classroom to the one next door, because your situations are totally different. And please, never forget that you might be pulling off actual miracles with very limited resources.
And you don't have to go looking for these wins all by yourself. You know, there's a Nigerian proverb that says it perfectly. Problem shared, the half solve. Just sharing your frustrations and your small victories with another teacher who just gets it. That can be one of the most powerful things you do.
Now, beyond just collecting proof, it's also about building a mindset that can last. And for that, we can turn to this fantastic mental model for self-evaluation. It's called the SEE framework. This framework was developed by Tisha, and it's a really simple 3-part way of thinking. It's designed to help you cut through all that noise of self-doubt, find your impact again, and really reconnect with why you became an educator in the first place. The first step is S, and it just means slow down. That's it. Just pause, take a deep breath. You have to acknowledge and accept that real learning, just like farming, is not a race. Progress takes time. The first E stands for evaluate. This is your cue to start looking for evidence, not just running on emotion. Go check the old records, open up that before and after folder. Notice those tiny shifts in how kids are acting in your classroom. The data might tell a totally different and much better story than your feelings do. And that final E is for evolve. Look, when a lesson doesn't quite work or a method isn't clicking, that's not a personal failure. It's just feedback. It's an invitation to tweak your approach, to adapt, and to grow right along with your students. Your journey as a teacher is all about constant evolution. When you really learn to SEE your work this way, you start to remember something really fundamental. What you do is sacred work. You're not just passing along information, you are literally planting the seeds of the future. And that harvest, it often shows up in these quiet, beautiful little signs of change. It's the student who used to be so withdrawn, but now greets you politely every morning.
It's that kid who finally stops seeing math as a monster. Or that one child who gives you a real smile for the first time all term. These small moments, they are the proof.
Always remember, you are part of a whole community of champions, and your work matters more than you know. It makes me think of this incredible quote from the legendary educator Rita Pearson. Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them. That adult, that champion, is you.
So let's just end with this final thought, an affirmation to hold on to, especially on those really hard days. Every single lesson you have sown is a seed. The growth might be delayed, but it never, ever disappears. Thank you for doing the sacred work that you do.